Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who were well and teach well, being great examples to us younger brothers. Peace and blessings to all full elect. Lord willing, we be a part of that number. I'm the brother Kodar from the GMS Bench of Chicago. Come back with another video. This video is going to be entitled, Keep an Eye on the 2026 World Cup. All right. 1 second. All right, because this is something that's happening in North America. You know, it's not just going to happen in America. It's going to be in Canada and Mexico as well. All right, where the world's best international, in America they call it soccer, but the whole world calls it football. All right, this is the biggest sport venue in the world. You know, and it happens every 4 years. Okay, contrary to Americans' belief, there is sports that are bigger than the Super Bowl. Weak ass fucking Super Bowl, man. All right, but the World Cup, you know, it generates billions of views every tournament. You know, every 4 years. You know, and I searched up how many people are projected, you know, to travel to America for the 2026 World Cup, and this is happening this summer. Okay, and it says the 2026 World Cup is predicted to draw between 1.2 million and 6 million international visitors to North America. So it's going to be 6 million people, potentially 1 million to 6 million people here in the U.S. Okay, and we understand with the war going on right now, that there's a potential, which we understand is already sleeper cells here. Okay, but there's potential for more people to be sent over here that are sleeper cells. All right, or for Esau to use that as an excuse to bomb his own people, you know, and then blame the enemy, you know, which he does frequently. Okay. All right, it says specifically the U.S. is expected to welcome roughly 1.24 million international visitors, with some forecasts for total foreign visitors to the region, including Canada and Mexico, ranging much higher, right? Because it's going to be in their neighboring nations as well. See, the last one was in Saudi Arabia. Okay, but now 2026 is North America. Okay, and I got this article from the End Time Headlines. Okay, it says, you know, so this is something to be on the lookout for, Akim. It says America will no longer be safe. God, the fuck this shit out the way, man. It says America will no longer be safe, warns the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, vowing to eliminate Zionism and strike at the U.S. homeland. And we understand the narrative that this devil is trying to push. All right, because a week or two ago, you had that shooting in Austin, you know, which that was a psyop. Okay. A potential MK Ultra. All right. You know, I even had a nigga, a part of my fight team said the same thing, man. These Americans are realizing, you know, how what's that word? How tacky is that, man? His shirt just happens to say property of Allah. Okay. You know, and there's a Quran in his in his car. You know, in which fuck those Muslims. But if you actually understand Islam, you know, they wouldn't even have a shirt. They wouldn't even have a shirt with Allah on it because they got to use the bathroom. That, according to their belief, they can't do that. Be in the bathroom to defile their idol. Okay, in the bathroom while they pissing and shitting, man. That's according to their belief. So that was obviously a psyop. You know, so this is the spirit that Esau Edom is in. You know, he's looking for somebody to blame. All right, this is the accuser of our brethren. Okay, and he's back at it again. All right, and he's looking for somebody to blame. So just reading that, you understand what type of timing he's on now. You know, so this is something to be aware of, Akim. You know, expect more attacks, especially around the 2026 World Cup tournament. Okay, the most popular sporting venue in the world. Not venue, Salaki, but the most popular sporting event in the world. All right, this shit shits on the Super Bowl, man. All right, not even close, by far. You can search this up. Okay, so expect these attacks, expect false flag attacks, and expect him to be blaming. Okay, because he's trying to link us with the Islamic religion, or he's trying to link up the Hebrew Israelites with the Islamic religion, man. All right, in which we have nothing to do with them. Okay, let's see. And I don't really have to read too much of this, just really want to make this a quick hit, man. This guy to 2 Corinthians 2:11, because we're privy to this devil and his little tactics, man. This is 2 Corinthians 2 and verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Now, we're not ignorant of this devil's devices. This devil does nothing but false flag attacks. All right, look at Pearl Harbor. All right, look at 9/11. Okay, look at the Boston Tea Party. All right, look at Nero. All right, when he burned Rome and blamed the Christians. Hey, this devil does this shit all the time. Okay, not even speaking of the mass shootings that has happened recently over the past 10 years. There was another shooter, I believe it was in New York, where there was a guy linked to the Israelites. And we understand these guys are agents. All right, we don't push those type of things. So this is this devil's doing, man. He's looking to accuse us. All right, he's looking for someone to blame, just like Nero. All right, and Nero is back, man. Trump. All right, Trump is Nero through the Spirit. We believe this. All right, the elder Apostle Hart calls him Nero 47. All right, because that's a power boost that nigga got, man. Because that nigga, hey, like I said in my last video, man, this nigga Esau is in rare form. This nigga is on total bullshit, man. All right, his horns is completely out. All right, all right. So let me grab a second. That was 15. Okay. All right, because, yep, here we go. Yep, this second, that is 15, in verse 29, it says, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried. It says, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth, that they all which heard them may fear and tremble. Okay? And Esau is successfully making the Muslim nations unite. Okay? Hey, because Arab means mixture. All right? Arab, all right, means mixture. All right, so you got over there in that Western Asia region, okay, in which the whole world calls it Western Asia, which Elder Malcolm was the first to bring that out. Okay? But now people are saying there's no such thing as Europe. It's not a fucking continent, and which is true. It's not a continent. All right, that's one of the pseudosciences that this devil pushes, man. Okay, but in that region you got Ishmael, Elam. Okay, it says also the Carmanians raging in wrath, all right, which is going into the Elamites, the Iranians, the Persians. It says shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood. And if you look at the characteristics of a wild boar, all right, very unpredictable, very strong, all right, very dangerous. All right, a fucking wild boar can be between 200 to 400 pounds, man. All right, a straight tusk. All right, furry, aggressive, tusk long as fuck, man. Okay. They eat anything, and that's how it's describing how the Elamites, how the spirit of the Elamites are gonna be. All right, and that spirit is being activated because now they fucking Esau up right now. Okay, let's keep reading. It says, and I'm gonna get back to that point. It says, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. Okay, it says, And then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature, right? Because the scripture says, all right, it just described Elam as a wild boar, all right? And what does the scripture says about Ishmael? All right, the scripture say he's a wild man, okay? So, hey, the Lord is getting their spirits activated, man. It's about to go down. So, like, it is already going down, and it's about to get worse. All right, this nigga smoke. All right, it says, then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature, and they shall turn to themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them. Hey, right now, contrary to the Western media, they are losing that war. That war is fucking up the U.S. economy. All right, it's fucking up their oil prices. They're losing weapons. They're losing money drastically. Okay, they can't keep. Hey, Iran is shooting their old weapons first, and they're fucking destroying embassies, destroying ships. Okay. Hey, it's thousands. I believe it said 500 U.S. people have been. U.S. military personnel has died so far, man. Or I believe it's the same thing with Israel. So they getting here it is. They sucker punched them, and now Iran is actually fighting. Now they like, okay, time out. Nah, ain't no timeout, man. You know, Trump talking about he tried to settle with a treaty, you know, and now Iran's like, man, fuck that. We not making no deals with you devils, man. Because Iran have been planning. They've been planning this since the U.S. invaded Iraq. So they were already privy. They already knew that they were next. Okay. So this is something they were already aware of that could happen, and they were prepared for it, man. Okay. And now that the U.S. took out Iran's supreme leader, you know, in which Iran is being low-key about who's their next leader because they don't want them to get bombed, which is smart. Okay? Hey, but they fucking them U.S. embassies up. All right? Closing the Strait of Hormuz. The gas price is about to go up. This place is over with, man. All right? So let's keep reading. It says, verse 32, then these shall be troubles, and keep silence through their power, and shall flee. And from the land of the Assyrians shall the enemies besiege them. So let's keep reading, Salakia, and consume some of them, and in their hosts shall be fear and dread and strife among their kings. Right, so it's sleeper cells here in America, you know, believe it or not. All right, and they're waiting to be activated. Okay, so that's why I said keep an eye out for this 2026 World Cup, man, because it's, hey, between 1 million and 6 million people. All right, hey, and this devil is ultimately trying to further his MOTV system so he can have something to play out to where they're like, okay, nah, it's too many people here. We don't know who anyone is. We're going to shut this shit down. You got to take this MOTV to prove that you're a citizen. All right, boom. You know? Then prophecy is just going to start going by so fast, man. All right, because before we go out and before that full-scale war happens, the MOTB has to be made mandatory. Okay? And this dollar has to crash before that. So, Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Al-Shai, Hashem, Dash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings. Lord, for elect, Lord willing, to be a part of that number. Shalom, Kwame Sharala, Wa Baba Ball.